What's happening, HEXO traders and investors? It's Rod with Power Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, and interviews. Today is Friday. Happy Friday. It's March 10th, and got some good news today. We did get confirmation that HEXO is going to be doing an earnings call for their Q2 2023 earnings. That's coming up next week. We're going to discuss all that and more, but before we get to it, make sure to smash the like. Help support me in the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell, and you'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. As I mentioned, it's going to be for Q2 2023 earnings, and that's tentative for March 17th. There's going to be more details to come, but I did get confirmation that there is going to be a conference call, so that's exciting, something that we haven't seen in quite a while. But going to jump into, we'll take a look at the analyst estimates here in a moment as well, what to expect. I did post a video, if you haven't seen it already. It was a price target from IND Money. They're saying that the price target on HEXO is $65.46 USD, which would only be about $4 or $5 factoring in post-split. Seeing a ton of pushback on that video. People saying, oh, it'll never get to 65. It's never been at $65. Well, you got to think it's factoring in the post-split. So it's realistically just $4 or $5, which we know HEXO was at $11 in February 2021. So if it was at $11, why can't it get to $4? Just, it's common sense. So going to show you here from Haley Zukanik, Kaiser Partners. It's the third party that manages the investor relations now for HEXO. You can see here that she responded today, 9:47 a.m. Hi, Rodney. Great to hear from you. Thank you for your patience. HEXO is planning to host the conference call next Friday, March 17th at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, and more details to come. So we didn't get confirmation when the earnings is going to be reported, but as we know, if you go to the HEXOcorp.com website, underneath resources, FAQ, and when are HEXO's year end and quarter ends, you can see here it's due by March 17th. So we're potentially going to see it on Thursday or Friday next week. You can see here that investing.com has it as March 16th. So we'll see. It says due by March 17th. Whether or not they can post it, it's probably going to be in the evening of March 16th on the Thursday. There is what I would think, and then we'll have a conference call on the morning of March 17th. But like Haley said, more details to come. In terms of analyst estimates, we are forecasting 41.7 million, and this is in Canadian as they report in Canadian dollars. So 41.7 million is the forecast for revenue, and negative 0.0233 is the earnings per share forecast. Now, I'm not expecting positive earnings per share. I do think that we could come in somewhere in line. We know that with all of the cost-cutting initiatives, all the layoffs, the facility closures with the acquisition of Redecan, they no longer need all of those assets. They also sold the Zenabis assets in Malta to SNDL. So that's going to really cut down on COGS and SG&A. So we should see an improvement, continual improvement in that over the next quarter or two, in my opinion. But over the next 1 to 2 quarters, we should see that all realized, in my opinion. But I'm not expecting positive EPS. Maybe over the next 2 to 3 quarters, we should see positive EPS. So, positive cash flow from operations. And then we should see, in my opinion, we could see positive adjusted EBITDA either this quarter or next quarter. That's what I'll be looking out for, but shouldn't be too hard to beat this analyst estimate in terms of revenue. Not expecting a beat in EPS. If we get it, great, but not expecting it. I am expecting a potential beat here with the revenue. It's 41.7 million, only 1.5 million or so increase from last quarter, and we did miss for the last 5 quarters, so we are due for a beat. But let's see if we can get back into the winning circle here, because we have been struggling over the last few quarters, and that has to do with the fact that management, Charlie Bowman, has said that not all revenue is good revenue, right? If it's not profitable, we don't want to partake, right? So they're just getting rid of those products that weren't selling or weren't providing high margins and that weren't profitable, right? So now every sale is basically profitable, and we should still see, like I said, a continuous improvement on that over the next quarter or two as a result of all of those new initiatives and righting the ship, so to speak. But taking a look at HEXO here on the daily time frame, we did break to a daily lower low today. We are holding key support at 132 USD. As I mentioned, we did have the EMA 12 and 26 bear cross get out of the way as well. So we were expecting more downside here in the short term, and we still yet to hit daily oversold. But going into next week, going to be very interesting to see whether or not we hold and maintain this weekly uptrend. So we have the low, high, higher low, and higher high. Anything over 132 is just a weekly higher low. If we do lose 132, then that means we will lose the weekly uptrend and we'll be starting monthly consolidation. So again, when we lose an uptrend on a specific time frame, If we lose an uptrend, that means zoom out to the next level, which would be, in this case, we're looking at the weekly, so we'd zoom out to the monthly, and that means watch for monthly consolidation. Consolidation just means we're losing the low of the previous candle, so that low is 132. So again, that is key support now, because if we lose 132, we lose the weekly uptrend and we start monthly consolidation. Then we look for a higher low compared to 90 cents. Then we'll watch for a monthly higher low and a higher high. If we can get into a monthly uptrend, that's going to be the first time since the run up to $11 pre-split in February 2021 highs. And we know we dropped about 99% since then. Tilray's dropped about 96%. Pretty much all of MJ is down 70 to 80% plus from February 2021 highs. Doesn't matter if they're profitable, unprofitable, LPs, MSOs, doesn't matter if they're producers, retailers, ETFs, all of them are down around 80% plus. So we will be watching for a monthly higher low if we do start monthly consolidation. It is very possible with the weakness in the S&P 500 that we could see that consolidation sooner rather than later, and adding headwinds to the fact that, MJ is not positioned that well. HEXO, we know that we need to confirm a monthly uptrend to be confident that a bottom is in, but not just in HEXO, we need that across the space, right? We need all of MJ, not just Canadian MJ, but American MJ, producers, retailers, ETFs. We need uptrends across the whole sector to be confident that the bottom is in and that we're entering a new bull market. So that's going to be what I'm watching for next week. Crucial support is going to be 132 USD. And like I said, I think that the odds are very much in the favor of monthly consolidation leading into next week. Maybe get that out of the way before earnings. That might be better, because if we run into earnings and they miss, then we would crater, right? But if we see consolidation on the monthly time frame, and then we get a positive result and outcome from the earnings, then the stock would shoot up like crazy, right? Because it's already been beaten down and we didn't run that much into the earnings. So you don't have to actually crush those earnings to see much upside. So even if it comes in with a slight beat and we've been consolidating and seeing some downside leading into those earnings, we could see a nice pop in the stock. But I am seeing some issues and some warning signs here on the weekly time frame. We are below the 10-week moving average. So we did close that below the 10-week moving average this week. Cause for concern, and we're seeing a bear cross of the stochastic on the weekly time frame as well. The MACD is still bullish, but just barely. So again, not looking too hot here on the weekly macros. A little bit of a cause for concern, adding more confluence to the fact that we could see monthly consolidation even as early as Monday next week. And again, the S&P 500 starting monthly consolidation, losing the low of last month. Again, adding more bearishness to the situation. We do have a lack of resistance until the 50 weekly there at 294. And then after that, we've got some runway all the way up to $20.87. And then the 200 weekly there at 66.59, which actually lines up with the price target of IND money. So taking a look at the daily time frame here as well, we are expecting a golden cross at some point soon. It almost occurred here a few weeks ago. And then the last time this happened was in November of 2020. So you can see here, price was at around $40, factoring in post-split, and ran up all the way to about $150. And then we had the death cross with the 50 above the 200, came down across through it. That occurred when the price was at around $50, and then we dropped all the way down to 90 cents. So now we're seeing the reverse of that, and we're way more beaten down this time around. So we could see a lot of upside. We're seeing a ton of volume as well. We had the all-time high record monthly volume. Usually volume precedes price, and we're going to be expecting a golden cross, like I said, over the next few weeks, maybe a couple months. But like I said, we still have a lot of work to do on the monthly time frame. We still have yet to start monthly consolidation and form that higher low and higher high. So to get that higher low and higher high, we'd need at least 2 to 3 more candles, more than likely, before we can be confident that the monthly uptrend is confirmed. So like I said, we still got a lot of work to do. So not out of the woods yet, but it's going to be interesting to see whether or not we come in at a beat. Let me know what you think. If we're going to come in positive adjusted EBITDA, do you think that we're going to beat in terms of the revenue, EPS? Always love hearing from you. Again, we'll want to see more details from Haley and HEXO. They did say that it's tentative for March 16th, but again, we haven't seen official confirmation from HEXO yet. We did get confirmation that there's going to be a conference call, and they're planning it for Friday, March 17th at 10 a.m. But again, we want to see official confirmation from HEXO, and then we'll wait for the details on the earnings. But going to end it there, if you could smash the like, I would appreciate it. Share the video with anybody that might find value. Again, it's Rob with Powell Group. Thanks again for joining us on The Pursuit of Wealth, and we'll be covering HEXO earnings next week, and have a great weekend ahead. We'll talk to you again soon. See you in the next video.